Eta, welcome to the Gen Z version of Steps to Christ. So here we're going to be talking about summarizing the fifth chapter of Steps to Christ by Ellen G. White, but more of in Gen Z, because I realize that most of us here haven't really had time or enjoyed reading Ellen White books, mostly because I don't know, they just not we're used to entertaining stuff and everything. So we just thought that maybe if we put a creative twist on it, on Steps to Christ, and maybe put some Gen Z slang and see how it hits and see if we like it or not. So let's go in. Chapter 1. God's love for man. Nature and the Bible are literally out here confirming the same thing. God really does love us. For real, bro. Our Heavenly Father is the whole source code for life, wisdom, and joy. He's not just vibing, he's actively supplying. Look at how the world is literally put different. The sun, the rain, the mountains, the ocean, all of it is basically God's love later to creation. He's out here feeding every living thing. No exceptions. That's just his whole thing. God made humans fully God and fully happy. The earth was thriving, zero cap, zero cash. It was us who messed it up by breaking the law, by breaking his law, which is basically just love. That's it. That's the law. Sin brought the ills, pain, death, all of it. But even in the mess, God's love didn't dip. He's still leaving little Easter eggs of hope everywhere, my G. There's literally roses growing out of thorns. God is love. It's basically God is love. The phrase God is love is basically printed on every flower, every blade of grass, the birds singing, the flowers smelling good, the trees looking majestic. That's God saying, I got you, bro, in the most extra way possible. The Bible is basically God's autobiography. He wrote it himself. When Moses asked to see God's glory, God said, say less, my G, and showed him his whole character instead. Merciful, patient, forgiving, loyal, the whole package. He's not petty. He's not out here waiting to catch you sleeping so he can smite you. That's a total misread that Satan planted in people's heads to make God look like some strict, judgmental landlord. That whole narrative is fake. That's fake news, bro. So Jesus came down to set the record straight, to change that. Jesus' entire purpose on earth was to be the if you've seen me, you've seen the Father type of guy. Nobody's ever actually seen God directly. Jesus is the only one who's fully in the loop. So he came to spill the tea on who God really is. When his disciple was like, just show us the Father already, Jesus basically said, bro, I am the whole show, my G. His whole mission statement was heal the brokenhearted, free people who were stuck, help the blind to see, liberate the oppressed. That's the assignment, and he executed it flawlessly. 100% aura, my G. Man, I'm just cringing reading this. But I'm sure you get the point. Whole villages got healed just from him passing through. He wasn't just powerful, he was soft too. Kids weren't scared of him. They would climb up on him like he was the safest person in the room. That's reason you can't even fake, bro. Jesus never watered down the truth, but he never used it as a weapon either. He was never rude, never harsh for no reason, never kicked anyone while they were down. He called out hypocrisy and fake behavior hard. But he was literally crying while he did it. Not trying to embarrass anyone, just heartbroken over their choices. He cried over Jerusalem, a whole city that rejected him, and still looked at them with nothing but compassion. Every single person mattered to him. No one was a lost cause in his eyes. That's Jesus' character. And get this, that's not separate from God. That is God's character. Jesus wasn't a different vibe than the Father. He was literally God showing up. Jesus lived suffered and died to save us. He went from full glory in heaven to a broken, messy world just for us. He left everything, comfort, worship, hope, to deal with shame, hate, and death on our behalf. By his wounds we are healed isn't just a nice quote. It's literally what happened, bro. Picture him in the wilderness getting tested, in the garden breaking down, on the cross taking the weight of everything wrong ever done. He felt fully disconnected from God. For the first time ever, that's what made him cry. Why have you abandoned me? That separation, that's what actually hurt him most, more than the physical pain. But here's the plot twist. Everyone gets this backwards. Jesus dying didn't make God love us. He didn't need convincing. It's the opposite, actually. God so loved the world that he gave his only son. God already loved us to the max. And Jesus was just the way that love could actually reach us. God wasn't sitting back watching Jesus suffer alone either. He was going through it too. Calvary wasn't just Jesus' pain. It was God's pain. Jesus said his Father loves him even more because he laid his life down for us. Basically, my Father loves you so much that he loves me more for saving you. That's the kind of love math doesn't compute in a normal brain, but that's what happened. Jesus said his Father loves him more because he laid his life down for us. Basically, my Father loves you so much that he loves me more for saving you. That's the kind of love math doesn't compute in a normal brain, bro. That's what happened. Only Jesus could pull this off because only he actually knew God well enough to represent him accurately. I think here we see like God's selfless love, like him saying, I will give my life for you. And God saying, wow, if my son does this, is doing this, sacrificing himself for the sins of us, human beings. I'm sure God was like, I'm proud of you. And that's what actually he says that. He's like, I'm proud of you, my boy. Okay. Basically, nothing except this level of sacrifice could actually prove how deep God's love goes. And it wasn't one-time favor either. Jesus permanently linked himself to humanity. He's not embarrassed to call us family. He is our sacrifice, our advocate, our brother forever. Not just for the moment. All of this so we could be pulled out of the mess and actually reflect that same love back. So if we claim to be Christians and we claim to be followers of Christ, it means that we are called to reflect the same love, the same selfless, sacrificing love that Jesus did to other people. I mean, that like, bro, like that cuts deep because now I'm actually thinking that like, I feel like I haven't been patient enough with some people, or with my girlfriend in the past. I just feel like maybe I've been so harsh that I haven't been like patient. Okay, but you know what? Let's keep reading. All of these so we could be pulled out of the mess and actually reflect that same love back. Honestly, the price paid for us should change how we see ourselves completely. When the Apostle John really sat with how deep, how wide, how his love actually is, he couldn't even find the words. He just said, look at this. We get to be called children of God. That's wild if you actually think about it. Before, humans were basically stuck under sin's control. But through trusting in what Jesus did, we get adopted into God's actual family. He didn't just save us. He upgraded our whole identity. There is genuinely nothing else like this kind of love. Children of the King. Children of the King. That's not just a nice title. That's a promise worth sitting with. The more you actually study God's character through what happened at the cross, the more you realize it's not just rules and justice. It's mercy, gentleness, forgiveness, all mixed with fairness. All held together by a love bigger than anything. Softer than a mom's love for her kid who keeps messing up and still gets picked up every time. That's God's love for us.